If you thought 2024 was a significant year for the Supreme Court, it's time to brace yourself because 2025 is going to take everything to a whole new level. It's going to be a roller coaster year for the Supreme Court of India, and let me explain how. First off, let's talk about the big picture. The Supreme Court will have not one, not two, but three Chief Justices of India in a single year. That's right, three CJIs. Justice Sanjeev Khanna, who is currently holding the top spot, is set to retire on the 13th of May. After him, Justice B.R. Gavai will step in, but his tenure is going to be very short, just 194 days. And then in November, Justice Surya Kant will take over as the Chief Justice of India. He'll stay in office until early 2027, which will give him a bit more time to leave his mark on the top court. Now here's the thing. These short tenures are not just for trivia. They have a significant impact on the top court's functioning. This means that the top job is more likely to be a sprint rather than a marathon. The Chief Justice isn't just a figurehead. They are also the administrative head of the court and lead the all-important collegium which recommends judges to the High Courts and the Supreme Court. So the frequent changes at the top means that there is less time for the CJI to tackle big, long-term issues like clearing case backlogs or pushing for reforms. Speaking of shake-ups, 7 judges in total are set to retire from the Supreme Court this year. It begins with Justice C.T. Ravikumar, who will be the first to go, retiring in January after 3 years on the bench. At the end of the same month, we'll say goodbye to Justice Hrishikesh Roy, who's had a 4-year stint in the top court of India. Then there's the man of the hour, Chief Justice of India Sanjeev Khanna himself, who will wrap up his tenure on the 13th of May. And just days later, Justice Abhay Srinivas Oka, also known as A.S. Oka, will follow suit on the 24th of May. Come June, Justice Bela Trivedi, one of the only 2 women judges on the Supreme Court right now, is set to retire. This is significant because with Justice Hema Kohli's retirement last year and Justice Bela Trivedi's scheduled retirement, the issue of representation of women in the highest court will be back under the spotlight. In August, it will be Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia's turn, and finally, Justice B.R. Gavai will retire in November after a term that will also include his short stint as the Chief Justice of India after taking over from CJI Sanjeev Khanna. Now let's dive into the cases because 2025 is going to be jam-packed. Let's start with the Places of Worship Act of 1991. This law froze the religious character of places of worship as they stood on the 15th of August 1947, except, as we all know, Ayodhya. It's now being challenged, and the stakes couldn't be higher at a time like this. We're talking about disputes over mosques like the Gyanvapi and Shahi Idgah, which are allegedly built over Hindu temples. The argument against the law is that it takes away judicial review and retrospectively imposes a cut-off date. On the flip side, supporters say that it protects secularism and prevents endless religious disputes. Equally important is the debate surrounding the colonial era sedition law under section 124A of the Indian Penal Code. This law has been criticized for stifling free speech and dissent. With its enforcement currently suspended, as the Supreme Court will decide if it aligns with the constitutional guarantees of free speech and liberty or if it's time to strike it down entirely. Another crucial long-standing debate is regarding the entry of women in Sabrimala. The 2018 judgment allowing women of all ages into Kerala's Sabrimala temple caused a nationwide debate on religious freedom versus gender equality. A larger bench is now expected to revisit this issue, focusing on essential religious practices and the tests related to it, which could impact similar cases involving Muslim and Parsi women's access to religious spaces in their own religion. Then there is a marital rape exception in criminal law. Right now in India, if a husband forces himself on his wife, it is not considered rape. A lot of people, including the Delhi High Court, have called this out, and now the Supreme Court is eventually going to decide if this outdated exemption has any place in modern India. Remember the hijab controversy? Well, it's not over yet. After a split verdict in 2023, where one judge called the Karnataka hijab ban a violation of personal liberty, and the other said that it wasn't essential to the religion, a 3-judge bench is set to re-examine the issue. The outcome could redefine how we look at personal choice versus institutional rules in India. And don't forget the important Citizenship Amendment Act. It gives fast-track citizenship to certain religious minorities from neighboring countries but excludes Muslims. Critics call it discriminatory and against the secular fabric of the Constitution. And supporters say it's about protecting persecuted minorities from other countries. This case is going to reignite the fiery debate around identity, equality, and the soul of the Indian Constitution. The Enforcement Directorate is also under the scanner. Its powers to arrest and investigate have been questioned, especially after some big political names, like former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, got caught up in the ED's nest. The Supreme Court upheld its powers in 2022, but post the Kejriwal judgment, the Supreme Court is now reconsidering how far those powers should actually go. This could be a turning point not only for white-collar crimes in India, but both legally and politically, even for the Enforcement Directorate. Another major issue pending before the court is whether a speaker facing a motion for removal preside over MLA disqualification proceedings. This question has far-reaching implications for state-level politics and legislative fairness, especially during political turmoil in state assemblies. There is also the Uniform Civil Code, which is set to debut in Uttarakhand this month. It's already causing waves with controversial provisions like mandatory registration for live-in relationships and penalties for not doing so. But this isn't just about personal laws. It's about how much control the state has over private lives of the Indian citizens. And then there is the much talked about One Nation, One Election bill. The idea behind the bill is to hold Lok Sabha and Assembly elections simultaneously. But without a shadow of doubt, the proposal is going to face major legal, constitutional, and logistical challenges. Of course, if it goes ahead, it will change how elections and by extension, democracy work in India, but that will not be without intense judicial and parliamentary scrutiny. All in all, 2025 is shaping up to be a pivotal year. The Supreme Court will decide on cases that touch every part of our lives: religion, individual rights, governance, and justice. Add to that the wave of retirements, new faces on the bench, and a revolving door of Chief Justices. And it's clear that this is going to be a transformative year for the Supreme Court of India.